In the serene town of Maplewood, life seemed picture perfect. Nestled in the suburbs, this small community was known for its tidy streets, friendly neighbors, and blooming flower beds, a postcard of idyllic charm. But in the fall of 2023, a horrific murder shattered this tranquility, exposing the dark secrets lurking beneath the town's polished surface. The death of Lisa Thompson not only stunned Maplewood, but also unraveled the tangled web of relationships between two couples, James and Emily Harper, and Michael and Lisa Thompson. Their lives, bound by passion, betrayal, and deadly obsession, culminated in a tragedy that no one could undo. James Harper was a respected landscape designer in Maplewood, admired for his warm demeanor and seemingly flawless marriage to Emily, a kind-hearted kindergarten teacher beloved by her students and their parents. Their neighbors and close friends, Michael and Lisa Thompson, brought a fresh spark to the town. Michael, an ambitious real estate agent, and Lisa, with her grace and magnetic charm, quickly became community favorites. On the surface, the two couples were inseparable, sharing backyard barbecues, holiday gatherings, and weekend getaways. But beneath this glossy facade, they harbored a secret, a dangerous partner-swapping arrangement that began as a thrill-seeking experiment, but ultimately ignited a catastrophic fire. What started as a secretive game to spice up their lives soon spiraled out of control. James's fascination with Lisa grew into a consuming obsession, one that would prove fatal. When Lisa tried to end the risky arrangement, she had no idea her decision would set off a chain of deadly consequences. Maplewood's peaceful veneer was shattered, and the truth hidden behind friendly smiles would soon be laid bare in the most brutal way imaginable. To the residents of Maplewood, the bond between the Harpers and the Thompsons seemed unbreakable. James Harper, 38, was a gifted landscape designer whose work adorned the town's parks and private gardens. Tall and charismatic, his warm smile put everyone at ease during community events. Emily Harper, 36, was a beloved kindergarten teacher, her patience and care earning her the adoration of her students, who saw her as a second mother. The Harpers lived in a charming two-story home on Oak Street, its front yard blooming with Emily's meticulously tended rose garden, a symbol of their seemingly perfect marriage. Michael and Lisa Thompson arrived in Maplewood 5 years ago and quickly became fixtures in the tight-knit community. Michael, 40, was a charismatic real estate agent whose confidence and humor made him a natural in the business world. Lisa, 35, a former graphic designer, now devoted her time to charity work and community organizing. Her elegance and captivating smile made her the heart of Maplewood's social scene. The Thompsons' sleek modern home was just a few streets away from the Harpers' cozy house, and the two couples bonded over shared passions for food, travel, and outdoor adventures. Their friendship appeared flawless. Weekend barbecues, joint Thanksgiving dinners, and group vacations to the lake left onlookers envious. Townsfolk often called the Harpers and Thompsons Maplewood's Golden Quartet. But beneath this polished exterior lay a secret no one else knew. 2 years ago, during a wine-soaked dinner party at the Thompsons' home, the conversation took an unexpected turn toward passion and adventure in marriage. Fueled by alcohol and curiosity, Michael half-jokingly suggested partner swapping. To everyone's surprise, the bold idea wasn't dismissed. It sparked a serious discussion among the four. Over the next few weeks, they cautiously set ground rules. Every encounter required mutual consent. Emotions were to be kept at bay, and their primary marriages were to remain sacred. The first swap took place in the Harpers' guest room, the air thick with tension and excitement. James paired with Lisa, Michael with Emily, each stepping into the unknown with a mix of thrill and apprehension. That night ignited a spark in their lives, rekindling passions that had long gone dormant. At first, the arrangement seemed ideal. Both couples appeared happier, their marriages stronger, and their social lives more vibrant. They continued hosting parties and planning trips, maintaining a perfect facade while indulging in their dangerous game behind closed doors. But subtle shifts were brewing. James began paying Lisa excessive attention. He'd linger by her side at parties, fetch her drinks unprompted, and steal glances when he thought no one noticed. Emily initially brushed it off, chalking it up to James's enthusiasm for their new dynamic. But as time passed, she noticed a strange intensity in her husband's gaze. Lisa, too, grew uneasy. James's attention, once flattering, started to feel possessive and unsettling. Michael, caught up in his career and social life, remained oblivious to the growing tension. What began as a playful experiment had planted a dangerous seed in James's mind. His fascination with Lisa was no longer mere desire. It was spiraling into an obsession. Her every smile, every casual touch, replayed endlessly in his thoughts. He grew distracted at work, sketches left unfinished, client meetings postponed. His world was narrowing to one focal point, Lisa. And this dangerous shift was quietly pushing all four lives toward the edge of a precipice. James's fixation on Lisa spread like wildfire, consuming his rationality. No longer content with their fleeting encounters during partner swaps, he sought every opportunity to be near her. He'd coincidentally show up at her community charity events, volunteering to carry supplies, and began loitering outside her favorite coffee shop, staging chance encounters. Every detail of Lisa, how she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, the way she laughed, became magnified in James's mind, fueling an inescapable fantasy. His design work ground to a halt, clients complained, but he didn't care. Lisa was all that mattered. Emily sensed the shift in her husband. James grew distant, his eyes vacant during dinner, his conversations inevitably circling back to the Thompsons, especially Lisa. One night, Emily stumbled across photos of Lisa on James's phone, snapped at a party. Lisa's radiant smile was framed by James's gaze, heavy with unsettling longing. Hesitantly, Emily confronted him, asking about his true feelings for Lisa. James denied everything, lashing out, accusing her of paranoia and blaming her for threatening their marital harmony. Emily backed down, unwilling to believe her husband could betray her or to face the possibility that their life was unraveling. Lisa was trapped in her own nightmare. James's attention had morphed from flattery into blatant possessiveness. After swaps, he'd send her private messages, escalating from flirtatious compliments to near-delirious confessions. "I can't stop thinking about you. We're meant to be together." Confused and frightened, Lisa tried talking to Michael, but he was preoccupied with a major real estate deal, brushing her off with, "James is just caught up in the moment. Don't overthink it." Michael's dismissal left Lisa isolated, regretting ever agreeing to their dangerous game. The breaking point came during a group getaway to a mountain cabin, meant to ease tensions and recapture their old camaraderie. Instead, James's behavior made things worse. He shadowed Lisa relentlessly, insisting on hiking or boating with her alone, and openly praising her beauty at dinner with unfiltered intimacy. Emily forced a smile to hide her discomfort, while Michael, though frowning, let it slide. Lisa reached her limit. One evening, while Emily and Michael were fetching firewood, she confronted James alone on the cabin's deck, demanding an end to their swapping arrangement. "You need to stop, James," Lisa said, her voice trembling but resolute. "This isn't a game anymore. You're scaring me." She admitted her unease, pleading for things to go back to normal. James's face darkened. He reached for her hand, his voice low and urgent. "You don't understand, Lisa. I love you. I'd give up everything for you." Lisa pulled away, backing up, her eyes wide with fear. She warned him that if he didn't stop, she'd tell Michael everything and consider going to the police. The confrontation solidified Lisa's resolve to walk away. She began avoiding James, declining group gatherings, and even pulling back from Emily. Emily, sensing the distance, was torn. She was ashamed of her husband's behavior, but feared losing their friendship and the carefully curated life they'd built. She tried talking to James again, but he was lost in his delusions, consumed by fantasies of Lisa. He started stalking her, showing up at her workplace and lingering near her home, hoping for chance meetings. Lisa's fear grew daily. She confided in a close friend who urged her to take action to protect herself. Meanwhile, James's mental state unraveled. Unable to accept Lisa's rejection, he replayed her words obsessively, his pain morphing into blame. He convinced himself Lisa had led him on only to abandon him, his fixation twisted into a dangerous rage, one that was about to ignite a tragedy beyond repair. Lisa's rejection cut through James like a blade, severing his last thread of sanity. Unable to accept her withdrawal from his life, he replayed her words from the cabin deck endlessly. The charming landscape designer was gone, replaced by a stranger consumed by jealousy and rage. His behavior grew erratic, late-night prowls near Lisa's house, staring at her lit windows, clinging to the delusion she'd change her mind. His work collapsed entirely. Clients canceled contracts, and whispers of his odd behavior spread through Maplewood. Emily was gripped by fear and helplessness. She noticed James's late-night absences and found search histories on his phone for Lisa's charity event locations. She confronted him again, but got only cold silence or explosive arguments. Emily began to suspect her husband had crossed a moral line, yet clung to hope that their marriage could be saved. She watched him closely, praying the storm would pass. Lisa's life became a nightmare. James's stalking left her sleepless. She installed security cameras and avoided going out alone at night. She begged Michael to confront James, and he finally acknowledged the gravity of the situation, promising to address it. But Michael's business trip out of town gave James a fatal opening. On a cold October night in 2023, with Michael away, James's darkness took over completely. Late that night, James crept into the Thompsons' home. He scaled the low backyard fence and used a stolen key, copied months earlier during a party, to unlock the back door. The house was silent, save for a faint glow from Lisa's bedroom. Clutching a kitchen knife taken from home, James tiptoed upstairs, his pulse pounding with a chaotic mix of love, despair, and fury. Lisa stirred awake at the creak of the floorboards, her eyes meeting James's as he loomed over her, the knife glinting in the moonlight. She tried to scream, but James lunged, clamping a hand over her mouth. Lisa fought desperately, terror in her eyes, but his strength overwhelmed her. In a frenzy, he plunged the knife into her chest again and again until her struggles ceased and blood soaked the sheets. After the murder, James stood frozen, staring at Lisa's lifeless body in an eerie calm. Minutes later, panic set in. He wiped the knife handle with her bedsheet to erase his prints and stumbled home. Emily slept, unaware of her husband's crime. James rushed to the bathroom, stripping off his blood-soaked clothes and shoving them into a trash bag. His hands shook as blood swirled down the drain, the room filling with a metallic stench. At dawn, Emily woke to James's strange behavior. His ashen face and hollow eyes betrayed him, and the bathroom's odd smell raised her alarm. She demanded answers. James tried to deflect but crumbled under her pressure, confessing to Lisa's murder. Emily reeled, barely able to breathe, but fear and tangled loyalty to her husband drove her to a shocking choice. She would help him cover it up. She knew James's arrest would destroy their lives, their secrets, their reputations. Emily snapped into action, crafting a plan. She made James change into clean clothes, sealed the bloody garments and knife in a bag, and drove to a remote wooded area outside town, burning the evidence with gasoline. She fabricated an alibi, claiming James had spent the evening helping her with garden logs. When Lisa's neighbor found her back door ajar the next day and the police arrived, the Harpers were ready with a polished story. James feigned shock and grief. Emily answered questions coolly, insisting they'd never left home. But the weight of their crime loomed. James was tormented by guilt and fear, waking from nightmares of Lisa's accusing eyes. Emily, outwardly composed, teetered on the edge of collapse. She knew their lies' survival hinged on maintaining their innocent facade. Maplewood's peace was shattered, and as police closed in, James and Emily's fate hung by a thread. Lisa's murder sent shockwaves through Maplewood, cloaking the serene community in fear and speculation. Detective Sarah Carter, a seasoned investigator with a sharp instinct, took charge of the case. She zeroed in on the Thompsons' inner circle, particularly the Harpers, their closest friends. Neighbors revealed Lisa had mentioned James's unsettling attention before her death, making him an early person of interest. But the Harpers' airtight alibi, Emily's claim that James was home all night organizing garden logs, stymied the investigation initially. James and Emily clung to their routine, but cracks widened beneath the surface. Guilt and fear consumed James. He grew withdrawn, often staring blankly at walls in their living room. He turned to heavy drinking, seeking escape in whiskey, but haunted by nightmares of Lisa's terrified eyes. Emily forced herself to play the strong one, attending community events with a practiced smile, deflecting neighbors' condolences. Yet, alone at night, guilt gnawed at her, Lisa's laughter echoing in her mind. Detective Carter wasn't convinced by the Harpers' story. Digging deeper, she accessed Lisa's phone records, uncovering dozens of messages from James over months, ranging from flirtatious to near-obsessive declarations. These texts exposed his fixation, contradicting Emily's claim of just friendship. Carter brought James in for questioning. He stuck to Emily's rehearsed script, but his nervous demeanor and evasive answers only fueled her suspicions. Meanwhile, Emily worked to shore up their lies. She reached out to Michael, feigning concern for his loss while probing his thoughts on James. Michael, devastated, mentioned Lisa's complaints about James's overly close behavior, sending a chill through Emily. Sensing Michael might share more with police, Emily spread subtle rumors in the community, suggesting Lisa may have been involved with someone outside their circle to divert attention. The turning point came from an unlikely source: Mary Hawkins, an elderly neighbor across from the Thompsons. Mary recalled sipping tea by her window on the murder night, unable to sleep, and spotting a vehicle resembling James's SUV parked near Lisa's house, its occupant acting suspiciously. This led Carter to secure a search warrant for the Harpers' home and James's car. The search uncovered a partially burned fabric scrap in the SUV's trunk, matching Lisa's bed sheets, and trace blood in the bathroom floorboards' crevices, missed despite Emily's scrubbing, confirmed as Lisa's DNA. The mounting evidence crumbled the Harpers' facade. Carter hauled James in again, this time laying out the case: Lisa's texts, Mary's testimony, the fabric, the blood. Overwhelmed, James's defenses shattered. Sobbing, he confessed everything: his obsession, the cabin confrontation, and the fatal impulse that drove him to sneak into Lisa's home and stab her in a rage. He detailed his panicked flight home, the blood, the knife. James's confession implicated Emily, revealing her role in burning evidence, crafting the alibi, and planting rumors. Carter brought Emily in. Faced with James's account and the evidence, Emily initially denied involvement, but Carter's relentless pressure broke her. She admitted helping James, claiming she acted out of love and fear of losing their life together. The trial of James and Emily Harper gripped Maplewood and drew national attention. The courtroom buzzed with reporters and onlookers. James faced first-degree murder, Emily accessory to murder and obstruction of justice. James's defense argued crime of passion, but the jury, appalled by his calculated stalking and brutal act, sentenced him to life without parole. Emily's role sparked debate. Her attorney highlighted her lack of direct involvement and eventual cooperation. She received 12 years, eligible for parole after 8. Michael, shattered by the trial, grappled with losing his wife and learning his trusted friend was her killer. He left Maplewood, seeking a fresh start, though Lisa's memory lingered. The town sank into a somber hush. The once golden quartet was now a fractured memory, and Lisa's death left a permanent scar, a grim reminder that deadly secrets can lurk beneath the most perfect facades.